welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here today. Ready for the final premium live event specials of 2022 somehow. God. We've got NXT Takeover WarGames kicking things off, and then we'll end the episode with Armageddon. And then next month's the Royal Rumble. Christ. Ending the year strong though. We take up WarGames first of all. There's another WarGames. Got a nice little 7-match card, I want to say. 2 WarGames matches. We've got the Breakout and Women's Breakout Tournaments Finals. NXT title match between Swerve and Andrade. Dempsey, Sheamus. Legado versus Destined for greatness. We've got a nice card. It's a nice card, and then Armageddon's even nicer, I would say. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it, and we're going to kick things off, of course, with, like I said, NXT TakeOver WarGames. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome. If you're not new to the channel, you know how we're going to kick off. We're going to kick off the show with an opening video package. Of course, it's how they start. And it does just highlight, you know, all the matches. You've got the women's WarGames, focusing on kind of Mandy, Bianca, Candice. They got their tag teams with them as well, but still. You've got Gargano and Strong representing their 4 WarGames main event. Gargano, Nakamura, D'Angelo, and Ford versus Strong, Cruz, Jinder, and Veer. Isaiah versus Andrade, Sheamus in action against Charlie Dempsey. Breakout tournament finals, a lot going on. 100 though, it's a very, very good opening video package to start. Now we're going to kick things off with WarGames. We're kicking off with the women's WarGames at that. 3v3v3. Women's WarGames. And, God, Bianca got the pin. Yes. Bianca's going to start, obviously. Bianca, Gigi, and Cora. Yeah, Cora's saying, you know, I'll start. So Bianca, Gigi, and Cora go out at the start of the match. Entrance order, I will go Shotzi, Roxanne, Jacy. No. Shotzi, Candice, Jacy, Indi, Roxanne, Mandy. There you go. It took me a minute to remember what the goddamn was, but so that's the entrance order I'd go with. So the match, you know, going on. 9 people in the ring. What's our big spot here? Who's jumping off? I'm looking at the participants. Definitely sounds like something Bianca would do, but it's going to be Shotzi, isn't it? Yeah. Shotzi does a big cannonball off the top of the cage, which sounds incredibly dangerous when I say it, actually, but still, she does that. Match going on. And as we get to the end of the match, Cora Jade has Shotzi, bit banged up from cannonball off the top of the cage, maybe not our best thing. Got her in position, about to go for the DDT, hits the DDT, you know, has Shotzi down, makes the cover, 1, 2, and then Mandy quickly out of nowhere with the kiss from a rose. I don't know what her finisher is. The knee. At some point, I'll look up the name. I'll never hear it from comms again for now. She hits that big knee to Cora Jade, catches her off guard. Cora's out with it. Mandy covers her, and it's 1, 2, 3. Toxic Attraction pick up the win, and Toxic Attraction win all. Winner takes all. Toxic Attraction win all. Mandy Rose keeps a hold of her NXT Women's Championship, and Gigi and Jacy win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. For 76, it's a good match. 83 Mandy, 76 Bianca. Got 63 Roxanne, 59 Candice, 54 Cora, 54 Gigi, 51 Jacy, 51 Shotzi, 50 Indi. Yeah. I mean, these varying levels, where the majority of them are scoring in the 50s, a 76 is very, very good, to be honest. I'm happy with that. But it's Toxic Attraction who come out on top. The fun game, did I remember to do the title change? No. So I'll have to do that afterwards. I'll leave myself a note. Give Toxic tag titles. I knew I'd forget it. And so, and yeah, I still did. 100. Toxic Attraction get to celebrate. They have all the gold once again. Toss on top. Bada bing, bada boom. To attract him with the win. And then we're going to continue the show. It's just an all-action show, honestly. We're continuing with the NXT Breakout Tournament Final. On one side, making their entrance first, is the Diamond Mine. Diamond Mine, Roddy's not coming out because he's got his match later, but the others will. So Hook comes out accompanied by Taz, accompanied by Malcolm Bivens, accompanied by Ivy and the Creed brothers. They all make their way to the ring. Hook, very, very ready for action. Hook is laser focused on this. And then his opponent, when the money comes, or when the money comes, it's Duke Sterling. Making his way out with his Goated Golded brothers. Make their way out. Duke, Big Dub, Nate Preston, and Oro Menster. Oro Menster, shall I say. And yeah, Duke and Hook staring down, ready for this match, ready for this battle, ready to try and break out. And both men go at it. Quick pace. Both of these men want this. Duke trying to keep maybe a little bit of distance with Hook. He knows if he gets up close and personal with Hook, Hook technically is very good. So he wants to try and keep that at a distance a little bit. But the match going on, and Hook manages to close the gap at some points. And manages to get some strong offense in, manages to get an advantage even for himself. Match going on, and as you'd expect, maybe arguments start breaking out of ringside. Diamond Mine and Goated having some disagreements. Nate and Oro and the Creed brothers eventually just start going at it. A big 2v2 brawl kicks off at ringside. Malcolm Bivens, hyping up the Creed brothers here when he walks backwards and bumps into Big Dub, arms crossed looking down at Bivens. Bivens looking very scared, goes to run away, but Big Dub grabs his collar and lifts him up. Highest he's ever been. Taz pulls Bivens down, and Taz staring down with Big Dub. And we can have Taz and Big Dub finally go at it a little bit here. Some blows. Taz, he's got on a bit though. He's older. Big Dub starts to take the advantage, grabs Taz, and just launches him into the ringside barricade. Taz down. Hook, obviously hearing the commotion, seeing his father laid out there, goes out of the ring, squares up with Big Dub. Big Dub looking down at Hook. Hook ready to go. Taz on the floor though, telling his son to get in the ring as the rest count in 5, 6. In the end, Hook does slide back into the ring, and he slides right into Guard's last gift from Duke Sterling for the 1, 2, 3. Duke Sterling picks up the win. Duke Sterling breaks out here. Hook, distracted by that commotion, distracted by Big Dub, by his father Taz being attacked, and in the end, that allowed Duke Sterling to get the win and break out here for 32. Is whatever, yeah. Both, developing. 44 from Hook's all right. 27 from Duke. Hey ho, here we go. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Duke Sterling picks up the win in the end here and wins the NXT Breakout Tournament. After the match, Hook, checking on Taz checking on Hook. Neither man looks too happy. The Creed brothers are a bit banged up. Malcolm, is detailing how he was almost murdered. I was goaded up the ramp. Duke Sterling raising that contract in the air for a 37 again. Lovely. Good. Nice. Good, a whatever rated match, but, breakout tournament, people developing. We knew it's not going to get the highest rating, didn't we? Well, I'm going to go backstage, actually. I'm going to go backstage to Trick Williams' big booty baddies locker room. And the big booty baddies are all in there. And Kassidy, Cassidy Rain is preparing for her NXT Women's Breakout Tournament final later tonight. Tricky's hyping her up. Tricky's getting her ready for action. She's wearing that special gear that Tatum gifted her in the Christmas special, if you haven't watched it yet. Getting her ready. And then Kassidy, stops the train for a minute and she goes over to Tatum. And she says to Tatum, look, I don't want everyone at ringside because that's just a distraction. But she does specifically ask Tatum, saying that she wants her to be at ringside. Tatum obviously says yes. For a 60. Is good. You know, they had their problems. They made up at Christmas. And Tatum agreeing to be at ringside for Kassidy tonight. For a 60. Is lovely. Kassidy will not have all the big booty baddies there. She doesn't want, you know, that distraction. But she will have Tatum. And she will have Tricky. Because Tricky lucky, you know. 60 though is good. That's good. When we're going to go to a title match next for the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles. It's the champions Legado, Humberto and Santos, taking on Destined for Greatness's Carmelo Hayes and Eli Kassidy. Now, of course, Eli Kassidy's typical partner Marcus Redden is injured. He's been injured pretty much all year, sadly, which is sad. Whilst, you know, Carmelo Hayes filling in. Carmelo Hayes, a very good fill, let's be honest. It's Carmelo Hayes. Who will come out on top, though, is Legado versus Destined for Greatness for the Cruiserweight Tag titles. In the end, Carmelo and Santos, the legal men, going at it. Carmelo with a big drop kick to Santos, falls back into the corner. Humberto with a sneaky tag to Santos that the ref sees, but Carmelo clearly doesn't see. Santos goes for Carmelo. Carmelo manages to stun him quickly to the top rope. Nothing but net. Makes the cover, but Carmelo is covering him, laying on his back. So the Santos' shoulders are down, but Melo's laying back to stomach on Santos, which puts him in position, obviously, for Humberto, the legal man, to hit a big moonsault off the top rope when he's not expecting it. Sorry, Santos, you're just collateral damage here, I suppose. And then Humberto hooks the leg and gets the 1-2-3 as Legado keep a hold of their Cruiserweight Tag Team titles. For an 82 is a good little match. 76 Carmelo, 75 Humberto, 73 Eli, 72 Santos. All pretty evenly matched. Lifted the crowd, got them ready, got them buzzing. That's what you need. It's just nice, quick-paced tag team action here. Melo and Eli's pictures are very similar, aren't they? They've both got the shades on, which fair enough. But Legado might not have sunglasses in their pics, but they do have Cruiserweight tag titles around their waist. Lovely. As then we're going to go backstage again to the men's locker room. And it's the face team for WarGames later on tonight. And in there you got the NXT North American Champion Montez Ford. You got Shinsuke Nakamura. And you got Johnny Gargano. But you don't have Tony D. And this is what's causing the commotion. Because Johnny's saying he's been trying to get a hold of Tony, you know, ever since NXT, ever since he ran off the other night, but he hasn't been able to get a hold of him. Okay, the one time he managed to get through to him, he was frantic, he was quite incoherent, he was talking about a barn and Bethlehem and a baby. Very confused. Okay, I've been to Quill's Nativities recently so I could follow along, kind of, but I have no idea what he was referring to. But anyway, I have no idea what we're doing here, okay? Don't know if Tony's going to be here, and if he's not going to be here, we need a fourth. You know, Johnny and Montez, a little bit worried about that, but Shinsuke kind of smiling at him and saying, don't worry, I got it covered. For 100 is good, yeah. Good little segment. Tony, obviously, after the Christmas special, has a lot going on at the moment, so maybe just forgot to show up here for WarGames. But that's alright, Tony D, we forgive you, mate. But it does mean that these men do need a fourth. And who's that going to be? Well, Shinsuke says he has it covered, so who could that be? Wait and see. 100 those are very, very good. As then we're going to go back to the ring for what will be a hard-hitting affair, because I've said it's a wild brawl. It's Charlie Dempsey versus Sheamus. The match Charlie Dempsey has been wanting. He's been looking for this match ever since Sheamus arrived in NXT at the start of this month. Finally, he got it. Sheamus says he's not going to go easy on him. Just a hard-hitting affair. Put it to wild brawl, because that's what it would be. Sheamus and Charlie Dempsey just beating the piss out of each other, honestly. I imagine one of the spots in the match, Sheamus has Charlie Dempsey on the ropes, and he hits him with, the punches across the chest that he does. I can't remember the actual name from. I cannot, sadly. You know the move I'm talking about, though, where he just lays into him with all those chops to the chest. Sheamus gets to 15 or something, then he stops, turning around, fella, arms out wide. And then when he turns back around, Charlie Dempsey is back already to his feet, red-chested but staring right down at Sheamus. Is that all you've got? Sheamus goes for a bro kick on Charlie whilst Charlie's on the apron. Charlie Dempsey dodging out the way. Sheamus' leg going over the rope, so he's kind of half and half, one in the ring, one on the apron. Charlie Dempsey quickly a big elbow to Sheamus' face, which, if possible, bust him open from the nose at this point. Sheamus a bit stunned. Charlie Dempsey quickly in the ring. Charlie Dempsey drags Sheamus fully onto the apron, quickly climbs into the ring himself, and then hits the big chops to the chest himself that Sheamus was just hitting. So very back and forth. But in the end here, Sheamus manages to recover, hit a bro kick at last, and get the 1-2-3. As after a very wild brawl, which Charlie Dempsey does give it a very good go, Sheamus, both men end red-chested. Sheamus ends red-nosed with that after being busted open, but Sheamus does get the win for a 67. It's fine. Sheamus really stood out with a 78, which is good because Charlie Dempsey got a 27. Putting Charlie Dempsey in the ring with someone like Sheamus hopefully help him being in the ring with a very good wrestler. But Sheamus gets the ring, and after the match, though, bloodied and battered, Sheamus and Charlie Dempsey do shake hands. Sheamus, after this battle, earned his respect. Sheamus holds out his hand and Charlie Dempsey shakes it for a 100. Just a lovely moment. Charlie Dempsey finally earning Sheamus' respect the only way you can, by beating his ass. That's the only way you're going to earn Sheamus' respect, isn't it? Great. And then we'll continue with the NXT Championship on the line. NXT title up for grabs, and there's still 2 matches after it. Christ. And the NXT title is on the line, and it's the champion Isaiah Scott versus Andrade. Now, Legado have had a very nice little night so far, haven't they? They retained the tag titles earlier against Destined for Greatness. But can Andrade now regain that NXT championship he held all those years ago? Isaiah Scott only won the title last month. He's loath to lose it already. But Legado set their sights on him, and Andrade made his big return, immediately going for Swerve. Can he get the win? Or will Swerve retain? I hope this will be a really good match, fingers crossed. Isaiah Swerve Scott, Andrade. Both men go for it as only they can, okay? You know how good Swerve is in the ring. You know how good Andrade is in the ring. This would just be a really good match, wouldn't it? Let's be honest with ourselves. This would just be a really, really nice little matchup. And in the end, it goes a bit 20 minutes, say. And in the end, your winner, and still the NXT champion, is Isaiah Swerve Scott. Swerve does manage to do it. 89. It's a very good match. I'm a little disappointed, though. I thought we could have done better. I don't know what dragged it down. Swerve was just inconsistent, which, what are you going to do, But still, Swerve in the end manages to hit that Swerve stomp onto Andrade and stand tall, still the NXT champion for that 89. It's very good. 77 Swerve, 96 Andrade. Happy with that. Happy with that, as Isaiah Swerve Scott does get the win and retain his NXT championship. And then we're just continuing on the penultimate match of this evening, the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament Final. Accompanied by Trick Williams and Tatum Paxley, it is Cassidy Rain. And her opponent, Valerie Laredo. Now, both of these women want this. Both of these women feel like they need this. Cassidy wanting to prove herself. She's, won all the matches she's needed to here. She even went over to SmackDown and she beat Aaliyah there as well. She wants to prove that she belongs here, that she is ready to break out. And so does Valerie Laredo, coming from MMA. Cassidy came from another wrestling company. Valerie didn't. Valerie signed to WWE from MMA. She trained like her life depended on it. She won her debut. She won the next match. She won the next match. And she's here in the final. Both of these women want this. To win the inaugural NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, which will give them a contract with a guaranteed shot at the NXT Women's Championship at a time and place of their choosing. Only one woman can get it though. Who will it be? Kassidy Rayne, Valerie Legado. Both women go for it because both women want it. In the end, your winner and the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament winner, thanks to a ripcord lariat, is Kassidy Rayne. Kassidy Rayne does get the win. 59 for the match is pretty good, honestly. 58 Kassidy, 46 Valerie. I'm happy with both of those ratings. Kassidy Rayne wins the inaugural NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. You know, you get to a moment in the match where Valerie's got Kassidy down. Kassidy looks to ringside. She looks to Tricky, who's urging her to get up, to get off that beauteous, voluptuous ass of hers, that big booty, and to stand up. And then she looks past Trick because she doesn't need that right now. But she looks at Tatum, who she has become friends with now, and Tatum urging her on, willing her on. You can do this. Wearing the gear that Tatum gifted her at that Secret Santa swap. Kassidy managing to get to her feet. Valerie goes for her. She ducks underneath, pulls Valerie back, hits that ripcord lariat, gets the win for 59. And Kassidy Rayne has broken out. Tricky and Tatum celebrate with her. Tricky Willie is going wild right now. Tatum Paxley getting that contract, handing it to Kassidy Rayne and raising her arm as Trick Williams celebrates very, very wildly for a 51. A feel-good moment here at NXT Takeover WarGames. Beautiful. Beautiful. And a very beautiful moment before we go back to War. It's the men's WarGames main event. Both teams make their entrances. Who's starting? They'll send Veer in. The heels will send Veer in because it's Veer, big, strong, tough. Beat the hell out of them to get us going. And the face, it's Johnny. He's got the heart, doesn't he? Johnny off start. And the face team don't have a fourth as we begin. Nakamura, Ford, and Gargano come out, but they don't have the fourth yet. Will they find it? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But still, Gargano and Veer start. Gargano trying to build something, and he gets bursts and he gets moments, but Veer is largely on top because he's Veer, for Christ's sake. After the allotted time, who's going to rush out? Jinder. Jinder will rush out. The Mafia Raja stick together. Jinder and Veer working down Gargano until the time runs out, and Nakamura rushes in to help his ally, Johnny, evening the odds a bit, fighting back into it before the timer goes out, and Apollo comes in, wearing them down again. Montez Ford's numbers hit, yep. Ford rushing in as well. Will he go right up there? Not yet. But yeah, evening the odds a bit, but still, Jinder, Veer, and Apollo are big guys, aren't they? Nakamura and Gargano already weakened. Ford trying to help them. Numbers March still working their favour, especially when Roddy comes in. And the heels have well and truly taken control at this point, beating down on the faces. Well and truly on top. There's still not a fourth man out there as the timer finally ticks down and hits 0. And, you know, cage door opens, no one's in there. The heels look around, they start laughing. Because of course they do, they're dickheads. They start laughing. The faces all on their own, beaten down, running out of hope. And then they get a little bit of hope as that Avengers portal opens and out of it walks the great Muta. Shinsuke Nakamura said he had it covered. And who has he called in but the man who defeated him for the NXT Japan Championship? Yep. And a man who will be retiring very soon, Nakamura calls in the Great Muta, who makes his way down to the ring, ready for a fight. The fans, we'll say going wild. We'll assume the fans here at the Gillette Stadium know the Great Muta. We'll make that assumption. Great Muta into the ring, I'm aware he can't do everything, but still, Great Muta getting some offense in, and maybe just his presence enough to try and drive his team forward. The faces fighting back into it. Match continuing on. In the end, it manages into a kind of just a all-out punching contest between Roderick Strong and the Great Muta. The two men just whacking the hell out of each other. Roderick Strong taking the advantage and getting Great Muta down onto his knees, taunting him. You're past it. You're past it. When the Great Muta, as you'd expect, green mist into Roderick Strong's face. He's blinded. He turns around. Johnny Gargano hits a super kick on Strong, puts him onto his knees. Nakamura flies in with a Kinshasa, laying Roderick Strong out. And then from the top of the cell, the top of the cage even, Montez Ford up there. Big frog splash to Roderick Strong. Covers him. 1, 2, 3. The good guys walk out of WarGames victorious here for an 82, which will take Veer and the Great Muta. It said we overused. This match did go 34.5 minutes, so fair enough, maybe. I'd personally say you can never have too much Veer, so what does TEW know? But an 82 for the match is fine. We'll take it. 96 Gargano, 86 Strong, 79 Ford, 73 Cruz, 60 Jinder, 50 Veer, 94 Nakamura, Jesus Christ, and 26 Great Muta. It's fine. As, yes, the good guys do get the win. In the end, Ford pinning... it says Cruz here. Ford pinning Strong with that frog splash. And beautiful. Beautiful. As, yes, after the match, I imagine Ford and Gargano would climb the cage. Because, two of them, Ford and Gargano in this case, climb the cage and celebrate up there together. Nakamura, definitely not great, and Great Muta up there. Nakamura staying down with Great Muta. Both are showing respect to each other. Raising Great Muta's arm, Muta raising Nakamura's arm. 100. Lovely moment as Takeover WarGames goes off air. The faces get the win. Great Muta wins in WarGames, which isn't a statement I was expecting to say at the start of the year, but hey ho. As NXT Takeover WarGames gets us a 91. Good show. Happy with that. Yeah, happy with that. Speech-wise, I will give it to Duke Sterling. I will give it to Kassidy Rain. And 89. Yeah, I'll give it to our champion Swerve. Praise, and praise. Make me speeches. Pleased, and pleased. And I'm very pleased that NXT Takeover WarGames has come and gone, meaning we only have one premium live event special, one show in general of 2022 to get through. And so without further ado, let's just jump right into things with the Raw and SmackDown, shall I say, co-branded event, ladies and gentlemen. The end is here. It's time for Armageddon. And Armageddon, as always, again, is getting underway with an opening video package for 100. Just going over kind of the biggest match of the night. We're closing and ending the show with Hell in a Cell matches, kicking off with Cody Triple H, ending with Seth Rollins versus Angel Garza versus Chad Gable versus Kevin Owens versus LA Knight versus MJF in a 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell match for the WWE title. Christ. And on top of that, we got Roman and Keith colliding 1-on-1 at last again after SmackDown 1200. And of course, we got Buried Alive, Bordella, Becky. Stacked card 100. Before we do jump in to the match, as mentioned, Hell in a Cell. Satan's structure is lowered as we get ready for Cody Rhodes and Triple H. Cody returned, called by Randy Orton, who asked for help in his war with Triple H, and he went to war, and he was defeated, but he didn't let that stop him. And since he came back, he set his sights on Triple H. He says, I want this match. No, I need this match with you. He beat Seth, he beat Andrade, he beat Adam, he beat Finn, he beat Kevin. He beat every single man sat at Triple H's chosen table, all of his chosen, minus Austin Theory, but he did hit across Road and Theory and take him down, so there's always that. Finally, given his match by Drake Maverick, here we go. Armageddon, Triple H, Cody Rhodes. Very long entrances to start. Of course, it's Triple H and Cody Rhodes. They both make their incredibly long entrances to the ring, and then the match. The two men go to war as you'd expect inside Hell. It goes 30-ish minutes, probably. It's a long one, of course, an epic. Both sides, both men get their chances. Both men get the upper hand. Triple H using that hammer. Cody managing for a moment to get the hammer himself and use it on Triple H. You know, you'll have a moment where Triple H is kind of... The steel steps have been brought in the ring. We don't have steel steps here, but the steel steps have been brought in the ring by Triple H. And Triple H, you know, sat on them. Cody Rhodes got him down. Cody getting that sledgehammer. And in the same way he brought it down and smashed it to break the throne in his AEW entrance that time, he goes for that on Triple H. Triple H just getting back in time before his balls get pasteurized by Cody Rhodes. Match going on. I want a moment where they're battling on the outside. Triple H is against the cell wall. Cody charges at him, sledgehammer first, going for a big shot, but Triple H getting down, picking up Cody, and hitting a big spine buster through the cell wall, sending the cell wall tumbling down, opening up the cage to the outside, where Cody and Triple H fight around there. Back in the ring, fighting it out here. Both men just going for it in the end. Cody Rhodes hit by a pedigree for a 2. Triple H goes for another pedigree, but Cody Rhodes managing to turn it into a low blow, gets up and hits a crossroad for a 2. And then Cody Rhodes dragging himself on the ropes to get back to his feet to try and just keep on fighting and keep on going here. When out comes Bron Breakker. Yes. And Bron Breakker's not alone. No. Bron Breakker's here with Solo Sikoa, with Marshall Von Erich, with Ross Von Erich, with Jey Uso. All of the Roman Empire that isn't Roman Reigns himself or Paul Heyman. Marching down to the ring. Bron Breakker. They could go around, but Bron's not taking the... That sounds like a lot of effort. No, Bron Breakker is simply going to rip the cell door open. I have faith in him. If he can't do it himself, then Bron and Solo will both, as a unit, rip the cell door open. I have faith in Bron to do it on his own, though. They rip it off and they charge in the ring. Cody Rhodes just about back to his feet when the Von Erichs charge into him, beating him down. Cody trying to fight them off when Jay hits him with a super kick, stunning him. Solo into the ring, beating down and Cody as well. Finally getting his hands on him again. Plants him with that big Samoan spike. Then Bron Breakker in the ring at last, lifting Cody Rhodes up and then hitting that, I will never remember the name, the bench press power slam, you know. Bench press and power slams him onto the steel steps door in the ring. Cody, you know, not even moving. He's just completely out of it. You know, Roman Empire obviously deciding their work is done. All leaving through the cell. Whilst Triple H gets to his feet. Musters all the energy he can manage. Lifts Cody Rhodes up. One more pedigree onto the steel steps once again. And then Triple H covers Cody Rhodes as the arena boos and boos and boos for a 1, 2, 3. As thanks to a lot of help there from the Roman Empire, Roman having his problems with Cody appearing on that final episode of SmackDown in the Go Home show, helping Keith Lee, teaming with him in the main event against Roman and Solo, getting the win there. Roman obviously not happy with Cody turning down his offer, you know, for that match. Well, not that match, but turning down his offer to acknowledge him and join his Roman Empire. And costing Cody the one match and one thing he wanted most here right now, as Triple H gets the win for a 73. God, look at me, another controversial booking choice. I'm full of them at this end of year. God, I'm feeling the controversy in December. 80 Cody, 73 Triple H, yeah, 73 is fine. Had interference. A long match. Triple H is an old man. He can't go this long, and yet he always does. What are you going to do about it? But yes, Triple H is victorious. When we're just going to continue with the show. We're going to clear everything up, do some, skits, some commercials, WWE this month brought to you by, I don't know, Christ, I don't know, America. What's on Peacock? What's on the cock right now? I don't know. It's brought to you by something. It's brought to you by reruns of The Office. There you go. That's what it's brought by. Before we have a tag match, once everything's cleaned up, it's for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at that. The Fiend and the Relic Karrion Kross taking on Big E and Kofi Kingston, 2/3 of the group formerly known as the New Day, and versus the Judgment Day, Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa. And I've got the hiccup, so apologies if that comes from the cowl. Mike, it's all going wrong. Yes. Big fight, big battles, of course. Biggie and Kofi having this extra bite, this extra hard hittingness that they found since Judgment Day got involved at Survivor Series WarGames, and continuing that on here. God, they need to. And this is it starts with the Judgment Day and the Fiend and Karrion Kross, the Relic. It's kind of staying out of each other's way a lot, and mainly focusing on Biggie and Kingston. Obviously, that doesn't last long. Aleister Black can fight with the Fiend. They've had their issues. Aleister Black picked up a win over the Fiend at last year's SummerSlam, I want to say. And the Relic getting involved as well with Tommaso Ciampa, Kingston, Biggie. Big fights, big battles. In the end, though, there can only be one winner, and the winner, by way of Sister Abigail, is the Fiend and the Relic Karrion Kross. They keep a hold of their SmackDown Tag titles. I set this to Wild Brawl because that's how I imagine this feud's been heating and simmering and building up, where I just think it would just be a big, wild brawl between these three teams. But in the end, the Fiend pins Kingston and gets the 1-2-3 for a 90. Very good match. 98, I mean, look at these ratings. 98 the Fiend, 95 Ciampa, 94 Big E, 90 Black, and 89 the Relic, 77 Kingston. With those ratings, it's going to be a good match, isn't it? And it got the crowd hotter. They're feeling it. I'm feeling it. Good. Beautiful. Lovely. We're going to have the first of a few segments tonight with the competitors ready for Armageddon Hell in a Cell later. Just little segments of Kathy Kelly interviewing them all separately. And the first one is focusing on Angel Garza and Chad Gable, who've had their own problems in the build-up. Gable beating Garza, offering that handshake, Garza turning it down. Garza having some problems with Gable very clearly. And yeah, they're both ready for this. Angel Garza's ready to win back that WWE title he lost last year at SummerSlam, to finally get his hands on it. Okay, he returned in January this year to set his sights on beating Edge and then getting back that championship. And now on the final chance this year he's going to do just that. And Chad Gable ready as well. He's been an NXT champion. He's been Intercontinental, US, NXT North American. He's held a lot of gold, but he has not held the WWE title. And he's ready to take that next final step. He said at Survivor Series WarGames he was this close, and he's ready to have it in his hands for 100. Lovely. Both men ready. I'm really excited. I have a lot of hope for this 6-man Hell in a Cell. There's a lot of really good guys, so I have high hopes. But for now, we're going to stay on Raw, and we're going to go to the Intercontinental Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, Dolph Ziggler makes his way down to the ring first, and he is followed, of course, by the man whose light you will burn in, Austin Theory. The now comes out to burn in my light once again. He's keeping this for the moment. The gold sparkles. God, my mind goes straight to Golden Shower, but that's a different thing. And yeah, Theory and Ziggler going at it. Ziggler wanting that gold back that Theory took from him. And Theory looking to prove himself, He's picked up some big wins in recent weeks. He beat Andy Organ. He beat Santa Claus. He's beat some names, looking for another. And in the end, with the Intercontinental title on the line, your winner, and still the Intercontinental Champion, is Austin Theory. Nothing you can say. He's going to change what he's done right here, right now. Hitting the A-Zone, obviously, his version of the O-Zone, the Overdrive Randy Orton's old finisher, for an 85. Really good match. Incredible, actually. Jesus. 80 Theory, 67 Ziggler. Austin Theory, my personal young wrestler of the year, breakout star of the year, whatever you want to phrase it. In ring-wise, at the start of the year, he was getting like 50s, 60s maybe. And now he's getting 80s and carrying a 67 Ziggler to an 85. Incredible work. Very, very happy. Wildly celebrating, of course, as he keeps his hands on that Intercontinental Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, burn in his light. Whilst we're going to move on now to a big match. And it's no holds barred because, God, this one's going to get going, isn't it? It's Uso versus Uso, Jimmy versus Jay. Of course, they've had a match already. The WarGames Advantage match back in November, where Jay came out on top after hitting Jimmy with a weapon. And he seemed remorseful. He seemed remorseful a lot about his actions, especially in regards to Jimmy. But Heyman in his ear, with Roman in his ear, though, telling him he's doing the right thing, that they're proud of him. Main event Jey Uso, and Jimmy ready to knock some sense into his brother the hard way. And it's no holds barred, so if you want to use a weapon, go right ahead. And Jimmy will. Jay may be a bit hesitant at the start of this match to, hurt his brother. But my God, Jimmy's been waiting for this one. He'll use weapons, he'll use chairs, he'll use metal pipes like Jay used on him. Kendo sticks, all the weapons come out to play. We'll get a table out there, Jimmy hits Jay with a big splash through the table for a 2. The match just going on. And at the end of it, as Paul Heyman watching on a ringside, Jay, he's going through it mentally, you can tell. Finally, Jay just seems to snap. Jimmy over him on the top rope, ready for a splash, as Jay quickly gets to his feet, grabs the metal pipe beside him, and just smashes it as hard as he can right into Jimmy's face. And Jimmy just collapses off the top rope, right onto the mat, face bloodied, blood pouring out of his mouth, his nose. Jay immediately gets on top of him and just starts pounding him in the face, just punch after punch after punch. It's no holds barred, but even the referee's there like, Jesus Christ. In the end, Jay doesn't even do like a regular pin. He's just sat on Jimmy, punching him in the face repeatedly, tears in his eyes pouring down his cheeks. Why are you making me do this? I don't want to do this. Just screaming and shouting as he punches Jimmy in the face. Jimmy is a bloody battered mess, as the referee I think he's acknowledges this he ain't getting up. Sees Jay sat on top of him. Jay pauses for a moment looking down at Jimmy, and the referee quickly counts a 1, a 2, and a 3. Jey Uso picking up the win here. Referee immediately, getting Jay off Jimmy. Medics rushing out, a whole lot of them, to check on Jimmy. Jimmy is in a poor state. Jay looking over for a 65. All that, and Jay's the one with a broken nose. Everything Jay just did to Jimmy, and Jay broke his nose. That's what made him snap. Jimmy hit a super kick to Jay that put him down, and it broke his nose, and that just made him snap, and he smashed him in the face with a lead pipe and beat the life out of him. They've both ended this bloodied and battered. 65 for the match, by the way, really brought down by that broken nose. Hope Jay's not out for too long. 71 Jimmy, 69 Jay. Nice. As Jay, tears streaming down his face, tears and blood streaming down his face, looking at Jimmy getting checked by the medics. I'm aware, Sean, as Paul Heyman, smiling, gets in the ring, hands on Jay's shoulder, telling him that he did a good job. The tribal chief will be so pleased with you. Main event, Jay. For an 81, Paul Heyman guiding Jay up the ramp whilst Jimmy is stretchered to the nearest local medical facility we can find, I'm sure. Jesus. Let's pick things up a little with another match, just a normal regular match, I know, between Bronson Reed and Edge. Now, Bronson Reed, came back. He came back, set his sights on bigger, better things. He wanted to prove himself. Joe, not available right now. Joe needs some personal time, but Reed wanted to prove what he can do. And he was very quickly targeted by the Judgment Day, setting his sights on him. Teaming with the New Day against the Judgment Day. Well, not the New Day. 2/3 of the group formerly known as the New Day. I love saying that, God. When he was speared by Edge. Edge saying that he's ready as well for 2023 to be his year. To take over at last again. With his, the Judgment Day. The judge, jury, execution is ready. And doing what he was told right in the beginning of his career to set his sights on the biggest dog in the yard, and that is Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed happily accepting that challenge. Bronson Reed and Edge, one-on-one. This would be an interesting match. In my head, I cannot picture this match IRL at all, but I'm sure it would be a good one. Bronson Reed and Edge, one-on-one. And in the end, your winner. And picking up another massive win in 2022 is Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, in the end, manages to get Edge down and hit him with the Tsunami for an 87. Beautiful match. Incredible work. 87 Reed, 68 Edge. Really happy with that. Bronson Reed, what a year he's had. What a year he's had. Started it feuding with Joe. Got a pinfall victory over Roman Reigns. Won the SmackDown Tag titles with Joe. Held it till SummerSlam. Lost it to The Fiend and the Relic. But then, coming back and now ending his career with a big win against Edge to hopefully spring him forward, you'd hope, for himself. Well, he'd hope, in 2023. What is to come in Bronson Reed? Good things. 87. Incredible work. Massive win for Bronson Reed. When we're going to go to another segment with, hey guys, Kathy Kelly here. And Kathy Kelly interviewing this time LA Knight MJF. LA Knight saying, let me talk to you. I'm the star of Monday Night, and that's with a K, Raw. I'm the golden god ready to get the gold around here. And I waited too damn long. Because LA Knight doesn't lose, he upgrades, and I lost that NXT Championship. Because I didn't need it anymore. Because I was ready to go right to the top. And tonight, LA Knight just does that. Yeah. And MJF also kind of saying similar things. His inevitable destiny, he's talked about ever since he arrived, to win the WWE title. Finally, his inevitable destiny will be achieved. For 100. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. God, I have high hopes. I have high hopes for the final match of 2022 in game. I have really high hopes for it. What's next up? We're going to go to SmackDown for the US title. And it's Bron Breakker of the Roman Empire, who we have already seen tonight, beating the hell out of Cody Rhodes, taking on Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, who on the latest episode of SmackDown, pinned Bron Breakker. Pinned a very distracted Bron Breakker by hooking the tights, but pinned Bron Breakker nonetheless. And it looks to do it again. With the US title up for grabs, it's Bron Breakker versus Tyler Breeze. And in the end, your winner, and still the US champion, is Bron Breakker. Bron does manage to get the win in the end and keep hold of his title with that military press power slam to Tyler Breeze. And what a night for Bron, beating the hell out of Cody and now beating Tyler Breeze once and for all to retain his US title for a 79 Breeze, 77 Breakker, both pretty evenly matched, like a psychology. But hey, Paul Heyman at ringside makes it 2 for 2 in Roman Empire victories, with Jay and Bron both coming out on top. Whilst then, we're going to stay on SmackDown. And we're going to, well, God, we've been through hell, and, well, people who go to hell first must be buried. Usually not alive, but I won't judge. It's the Women's Universal Championship. I will judge you if you bury a man alive. I feel like I really have to specify that. Or a woman, or anyone else. Don't bury people alive. Women's Universal title, buried alive. Portela Muerte, the champion, versus Becky Lynch. Portela Muerte's debut at Halloween Havoc 2021, a buried alive match against Charlotte, which she won. She took out all the 4 horsewomen. 4 matches in the company, and she beat Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, and Becky, and won the Women's Universal title. And now Portela, ready to do it again, to bury Becky, to finish her once for all, the man. But the man ain't backing down from a fight. The man is going to do whatever it takes to walk out of here with our championship again. Portela Muerte, Becky Lynch, both women do give it their all. Neither want to be buried alive, neither want to lose. But one must. And in the end, the woman who is buried alive and will not walk out Women's Universal Champion is Becky Lynch, as Portela Muerte hits that Death Valley driver, or whatever I called it, onto Becky, and then throws her into the grave, presses the button, and drops the crate. I don't know the dynamics of a buried alive match. It's been a while. Buries her alive for an 87. Really good match. Really good match. Yeah. Yeah. Really good match. As, yes. Portela Muerte. 87, by the way. I said that. 92 Becky Lynch, 79 Portela. As Portela Muerte stands victorious over Becky Lynch's burial site, Women's Universal title in her hand, as she stands over Becky Lynch's grave. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Becky Lynch. There's not a dry eye on Connell's face in the arena, I promise. 100. Beautiful. Well, not the Becky being buried part, but you know what I mean. We're going to go back to Raw with the Raw Tag Team titles up for grabs. It's the champion of Triple H's chosen, Finn Balor and Adam Cole, baby. And they are taking on Chase U. Andre Chase and Bodie Hayward, of course. Edris, Malik, and Thea all going to be at ringside for this, cheering on Chase U, waving that flag round. Yeah, it's a big flag, so maybe Edris and Malik will both do it together. And of course, at one point, Thea will get tired of them not waving it fast enough and just snatch it and wave it herself because it's Thea Hale. And Chase U giving Cole and Balor more of a match than they think. I imagine the story of this match is that Cole and Balor are cocky. They're overconfident. They're both former world champions, and this is Chase University. It's not a threat to them, is what they would think. There's a match going on, and Chase U giving Cole and Balor a much bigger fight than Balor and Cole imagined. At one point, they get very close. They manage to hit the Fratliner onto Finn Balor, and they cover him for a 1, a 2, and Adam Cole breaks it up just in time. Finn Balor was not kicking out of that, but Cole break it up. And in the end, the experience perhaps is just too much, as Adam Cole and Finn Balor retain their Raw Tag Team titles for an 80. Good match. In the end, Cole pins Chase with the Florida Key. He pins him with the last shot. 80 for the match. Balor was off his game, sadly. He really didn't take these guys seriously. 93 Cole, 81 Balor, 47 Chase, 29 Bodie. I'm happy. Cole shone. He always shines. 80 for the match is good. A very good match. I'm happy with that. Chase, you're going to show what they can do. You know, they come a long way this year since debuting. Final day of the year, coming close, but, you know, not meant to be, but Chase U's day will come. They'll get better and better, and their day will come someday. I'm sure of it. When we're going to go to the final one of those Kathy Kelly segments, interviewing first of all Kevin Owens, who's very crazed, but he says he's happy. Because tonight he gets his hands not just on his WWE title again, more importantly, he gets his hands on that weasel, Seth Rollins. Because there's no running inside hell in a cell. There's no running inside Satan's structure. No. Kevin can't wait to get his hands on Seth. When we, of course, immediately cut to Seth. How am I feeling, Kathy? I'm feeling great. Seth, in a great mood. Ready to go into Hell in a Cell and walk out. Just as he walks in, he says, WWE title in my hand. Lovely suit on me. The best. For a 100. Beautiful. Seth ready. Kevin ready. I am ready. We've got 3 more matches to get through first. Very good matches, including this from SmackDown for the Universal Championship. My heavens. It is Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, taking on Keith Lee, the Limitless One, looking to win back the Universal title he lost at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns looking to keep a hold of it. At SmackDown 1200, it looked like Keith Lee had it won before Roman Reigns was disqualified, and Keith Lee won by DQ but didn't win the title. Keith Lee won in WarGames, pinning Roman Reigns. If he can do that again, he'll win the title. But this is the Roman Empire's night so far. They got involved and cost Cody his match. Jay beat Jimmy. Braun beat Tyler. Roman Reigns looking to make it a clean Roman Empire sweep. Roman and Keith Lee battle it out. They go to war. They slug it out as only those 2 big, beefy boys can. And in the end, when it's all said and done, with the Universal title on the line, Roman Reigns versus Keith Lee ends with a spear, and a 1, 2, 3. It takes quite a few spears, honestly. But Roman Reigns is the man walking out Universal Champion for a 93. Very good match once again. Not quite their SmackDown 1200 getting a 100, but I will definitely take a 93. 92 Keith Lee, 86 Roman Reigns, both doing really, really well here. But the Roman Empire do make it a clean sweep. Roman getting to stand tall over Keith Lee, Universal title in his hand, big smile on his face. What a night for the Roman Empire. What a night for the Roman Empire. Standing victorious and standing dominant as Keith Lee. You know, sad, disappointed. Much more elegant words would obviously be used to describe it. I'm not quite there, Keith. It is very late today. Oh, God. And my mind's already a mess. Keith getting to his feet, looking disappointed, apologising to the fans, but the fans cheering him and clapping him. He gave it his best shot. He gave it his all, and that's all that matters. As Keith Lee stands in the middle of the ring, looking around and thanking the fans. Just, you know, one last time here tonight, before the year ends, just thanking the fans for all their support and everything. When the lights shut off and come back on to a Mr. Fiend, who's still SmackDown Tag Champ. Lights off, lights on. The Fiend is behind Keith Lee. Keith Lee turning around, and the Fiend dropping him down straight into that Sister Abigail. And then the Fiend just looking down upon Keith Lee for a 100. Bray Wyatt said he had some new friends in mind that he couldn't wait to play with. And mayhaps in 2023 he's found his first friend to have some fun with. Yay! For 100. Good. Sorry, Keith. Unlucky, mate. Didn't win. And then got attacked by the Fiend. Not your night. But we're going to keep going. You know, it's what Keith would want. With the Women's Universal Championship match, the penultimate match of this evening. With the Women's World Title match. There we go. I've already done the Universal. The Kingpin Io Sky and Paige. Paige lost her job as SmackDown General Manager in April. She returned to the ring, winning her return match at Wembley at SummerSlam in August. And now in December, Paige looks to end the year of her return as the Women's World Champion. Becoming a champion again. Paige said his career has been defined by titles. The first NXT Women's Champion. Winning the Divas title on her main roster debut. She's ready for another title. She's ready for this stage of her career, her return to finally be capped off once again with a championship to define it. And Io saying no. Io saying she is better than Paige. Io saying she is the best. She is the kingpin. Saying that Paige got knocked down and she went away for years. She sat behind a desk. Io got knocked down. And what did she do? She came back months later and took back what was hers. But only one woman will be leaving with that title. And the woman who does leave with the title is the Kingpin, Io Sky. In the air, managing to hit that moonsault on Paige and put her down for the 1-2-3. Paige defeated here for an 81. Alright match. 92 Io, 77 Paige. Not enough psychology, sadly. This could have been 8. This would have been higher if it had psychology. Sadly not. Shout out to Io. Because, yeah, she was putting on 90 raid matches. Then she did, deal a lot of drugs. And she fell down in her in-ring performances upon her return to the ring. But she's done a lot better since. So, hey-ho, here we go. Io wins. Keeps hold of that women's world title. When the ring is cleared and Satan's structure is lowered, ready for this. Hell in a Cell. Armageddon, 6-man Hell in a Cell at that. MJF, LA Knight, Kevin Owens. What would be actually the order here? Angel would come out, then Chad, then LA. No, then MJF, then LA, then Kevin, then Seth. There you go, 100. And then the match. Now, of course, the cell wall was already open. So Kevin's going to go right for Seth. And Seth is going to make his way out, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ha. Or more likely. Ha, ha, ha. And Kevin chasing him. Seth immediately climbing up the cell. Kevin following in pursuit. Match going on the ring. LA and MJF fighting. Angel going for Chad. Big fighting on the top of the cell already very quickly in the match. Seth and Kevin Owens are duking it out up there. You have moments where Kevin gets right to the top of the cell and Seth immediately goes for a curb stomp. Kevin ducking back just on time, nearly slipping off, managing not to, getting a hold of Seth's foot, Seth managing to get out, but then Kevin getting up and they can start fighting. And the match just carries on. The match does just carry on. And yeah, it's a long match, of course. Plenty of near falls, plenty of opportunities. Seth, when the going gets tough, flees down the cell. Of course, don't need that sound from Kevin. Kevin following in pursuit. At one stage, LA Knight, getting 2v1'd But you got Gable and MJF working together momentarily, at least on LA Knight. LA Knight retreating up this cell wall. You know, MJF follows in pursuit. Chad does as well. Garza catches a whiff of this, and Garza goes out the cell and starts climbing up himself. After Chad pulling his leg to try and pull him down on the side of the cell wall, akin to Dean and Seth, they start slugging it out against each other. Punches to the face. In the end, Garza and Gable both falling off the outside of the cell wall at the same time through the announcers table. Chaos everywhere. Garza and Gable are down. LA Knight and MJF fighting up there. God. LA Knight hits BFT on MJF on the top of the cell. But, I mean, there's no easy way down. You know, and you can't pin up there, sadly. LA Knight happy to have taken him out. You know, smiling, making his way down to the ring. Getting in there. Kevin Owens is in there and down slightly from his fight with Seth. Seth down as well for the moment on the outside. LA Knight seeing his opportunity, going in the ring, grabbing Kevin Owens to hit BFT. Going for that BFT on Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens shaking him off. Kick to the gut. Stunner to LA Knight, laying him out. And Kevin Owens covers him. 1, 2. Curb stomp from Seth Rollins out of nowhere to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens stunned. Kevin Owens, not yet dazed, on leaning down, pin broken, and then Seth taking a step back to the corner, you know, get your fat ass up, and then Seth hitting a second curb stomp onto Kevin Owens before covering him. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and still the WWE champion, Seth Rollins. Seth keeps a hold of the gold in the end. A lot of people's personal issues kept them distracted. MJF's and LA Knight's issues distracted them enough where LA Knight took advantage of MJF and took him out of the separate cell. Garza's issues with Gable clouded him and ended up with both of them taken out. And Kevin's singular focus on Seth Rollins allowed LA Knight to sneak up on him. And then the second he took his eyes off Seth Rollins to focus on that, you know, he's so blinded by one thing to another. Seth hit the curb stomp and gets the 3 and keeps a hold of that WWE title for a 99, a near perfect match. My prediction for Wrestler of the Year, PWI, Power 500, is Kevin or Seth. I think it'll be Kevin. We'll see. A lot of great in-ring performances. 96 Seth, 94 Kevin, 94 Chad, 91 LA, 84 MJF, 82 Garza. All the men doing well, all having a lovely, lovely time. But there's only one man who stands triumphant. All the way. Seth gets the WWE title, gets his lovely, lovely suit, climbs back up the cell, laughing the whole way there. And then on top of the Hell in a Cell structure, Seth Rollins stands tall, herring, and raising that WWE title in the air to close out our final premium line event of 2022 for a 100. Beautiful ending, lovely jubbly. 100. A perfect show to end the year. What more can you want? A lot of good things happened here. I'm very happy with it. A very good show. Speech-wise, this was a long section, so you might have forgotten that Triple H beat Cody Rhodes. We'll move on. I'm going to give Jay a hug because he broke his nose and then he might have killed his brother. And he just looks like he could use a hug. Seth can have a bit of praising. And then maybe Bronson Reed. You know, he's put on some really good work. So let's get Seth in there. And then let's get Bronson. Praised. You know, I'm giving you a hug. He liked the hug. He really needed it. Pleased. And I'm very pleased as the final premium live event of 2022 has come to a close. And I immediately turn my mind to what is next, because, ladies and gentlemen, next up is January. Next up is the road to WrestleMania. Next up is the Royal Rumble. And you're not going to want to miss it. Thank you for all the support on the series throughout 2022. It's been incredible. I've really enjoyed doing it. Really appreciate all your feedback and all your support. Watching, likes, subscribing, comments, all of it. Thank you so much. But yes, I hope to see you for a very big, I have a lot of big stuff planned, so yes, a very big and hopefully very exciting for you as well, 2023 here in this series. So yes, thank you for watching. Yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, as always, and subscribe for more. And as always, I just want to say a very, 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 very special thank you for watching.